Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. Happy Wine Wednesday. I have I forgot to introduce myself like I always do. I am Sarita. You can follow me at Vine Me Up on all social media. And this is the Swirl Suite podcast. And you can follow the Swirl Suite on all social media. It's me and a very special guest today. Hello, George. How are you?
Oh, amazing. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic.
Good. Thank you so much for having me on too, by the way.
Oh, of course. Of course. I knew you would be a fantastic guest. So for those who don't know who you are, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is George Washington Carver Walker III.
Wait, that's your real name?
Yeah, straight up.
That's what's up. That's so dope.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't say my full name enough, so I had to throw it in here real quick. But I'm from, born in North Carolina, moved from North Carolina to Chicago, from Chicago to Northwest Indiana, and now I am in Michigan. I'm founder of Graped Out. Doing my thing out here in Michigan.
Okay. So let's back up for a second because you're leaving a whole lot of stuff out. I've read articles about you and I've been on your Instagram. Tell me how you got to the culinary industry and how you got into wine.
Yeah. So in all honesty, in high school, I was trash at school, in all honesty. Like completely. And my pops was a pastor and my mom was a teacher, so they just wasn't having it. And they were like, in like my sophomore year in high school, they ended up like handing me this pamphlet, and like I started looking through the pamphlet. I'm like, yo, what is this? And I started seeing like medical stuff, and I started seeing like cosmetology, and then I saw like culinary and media production. I was like, yo, what is this? And they're like, okay, so since you're not good at school, basically, we're going to send you to a tech center. Choose something. So, I'm looking through the pamphlet, and I ended up choosing culinary because I just thought I was just going to smash the entire time. Just like eat the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up...
I'm glad you cleared that up because I was confused for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I ended up choosing like this culinary path, like through that, in all honesty. Like I went to the first class in high school. Like I was a junior in high school, and ended up falling in love with it. Like we ended up going over like the 5 mother sauces, and then end up like just the basic stuff, and like trying to go over like technical like cuttings and small dice, julienne, and all that kind of stuff, and tournaying. And I ended up falling in love with the industry. So I ended up that's kind of how I found the industry. And I ended up going to, it came time to like choose a school to go to for college. And I knew I wanted to go to culinary school, but I didn't necessarily want to major in culinary because at 16, I was like, I was fortunate enough to work in a Giovanni's Fine Italian Dining on the line and work in the kitchen. And I already knew that I didn't want to do that. So I ended up going to culinary school and majoring in food and beverage management, and ended up like volunteering at this wine tasting event in Grand Rapids. And at the wine tasting event, this dude came up to me and was like poured this Chateauneuf du Pape. And at the time, I was like, yo, Chateauneuf du what? Like, what you just called me? So he like ended up explaining like, yo, Chateauneuf du Pape literally translates to be castle of the Pope. And the Pope used to go to like this massive castle in the southwest region of France all the time, and just basically just like get lit. And I was like, yo, what? Like, where? Like, this is crazy. And opened up like blessing this like entire land. It was just like, yeah, I bless thee grapes. And he ended up telling me like, okay, so GSM, Grenache Syrah Mourvedre, comes from like the specific region in the southwest region of France, and Chateauneuf du Pape is like a sub-region of like Côte d'Aron. And my mind was just blown at the time. And the wine and the juice was dope too. Like it tasted good. So it was like, as he's like telling me this, and I'm like sipping it, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what? I can like literally travel the world through like a glass. Like this is crazy. So from there, I ended up like, I ended up working at this restaurant in Michigan, Grand Rapids. And my GM at the time, she saw like my passion or whatever, and she ended up telling me, yo, you should like go after your somm. So I ended up like taking my first level sommelier test when I turned 21.
Oh, wow.
In Traverse City, and passed it. And then from there, like, ended up working for a small distributor, which at the time I didn't realize how dope the portfolio was, but it was really dope. Representing like people like from Jenny and Francois out in New York, who imports like mad natural juices from Europe and some in the States, or even like Herman Stories, who's out in Paso Robles doing some dope stuff out there. Fabulous, and like Brooks out in Oregon and Washington, and like it was just dope, and I just kind of like flourished from there.
Really quick, Tanisha has joined us. Hey, Tanisha.
Hi, I had a little trouble.
But... That's okay. George has introduced himself. He was telling his wine story, and he is from Chicago.
No way!
By way of 2 other places, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens.
I did not realize, but he does live in Michigan now.
Okay. Well, still Midwest. All right. Couldn't give up those winners. Okay.
Nah. Oh, I'm trying to escape him eventually. I'm trying to get out of here. It's crazy. You know how it is.
Yeah, I left that behind. You guys can have that. I'm over it.
That was an amazing story, though, George. So, So from that point, was that the inspiration for Graped Out?
You know, the inspiration from Graped Out came from, in all honesty, I didn't really see a lot of people of color. I didn't see Black people. I didn't see Mexicans. I didn't see people of color within the industry. And I kind of wanted to put my own twist on wine, in all honesty. So that's kind of how like Graped Out birth. It was after being in the industry so much, especially in Michigan, because Michigan is like mad conservative outside of like Detroit, and mad white, in all honesty. Which is cool, whatever. But I didn't see myself represented within that space. So I really kind of want to make my own avenue, and that's kind of how Graped Out kind of came about.
And what exactly is Graped Out? What do you do?
Yeah. So Graped Out, essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the boujee out of wine straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Through 2 different phases. The first phase is through pop-up tastings, where I intersect live music, live art, food, and then of course wine all into one experience. And then the second phase, which I haven't quite gotten into quite yet, but I'm still working on, is actual wine production, where I want to produce my own juice.
Oh, so you make your own wine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, that's what I'm inching towards. I've done it before in the past, so I'm just trying to do it under the Graped Out label.
That's what's up. What kind of wine you want to make?
So I want to do Riesling, in all honesty. Riesling is like my favorite grape, hands down. It's mad versatile. It can be mad sweet, it can be dry, it can be sparkling, it can go so many different ways. I just love the Riesling grape, and it grows so well in Michigan. So that's kind of that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, in all honesty. Yeah.
And so, what is the wine like in Michigan? I've had a few bottles of Michigan wine that weren't bad at all. But what's the wine scene like?
It's dope, in all honesty. Like, Michigan wine within Michigan is like a whole thing. It's interesting because like Michigan is, or at least Grand Rapids, where I am in West Michigan, is known for its like beer scene, but Northern Michigan is known for, you know, Riesling and Cab Franc and a little bit of Traminette, which is like if it's Lambruscas, you know. So it's a blend, I should say, a hybrid, if you will. So it's dope, in all honesty. The wine scene is like actually it's actually pretty cool. But it's all dependent on like where you are within the state, how the wine scene is, because like West Michigan is so different than like the east side of Michigan versus like northern Michigan. It's just so random, you know. But it's overall it's a dope scene. There's some really cool producers like El Mabi, who's up north producing sparkling. There's some producers down south, kind of almost by like Indiana, like Chicago area, that are doing some really cool stuff. But it's just really interesting to see like the Michigan wine scene pop off the way it is, just because, you know, we're kind of we're at the same like parallel as like your regions like Alsace and like Mosel. So we're able to kind of grow grapes, or we have the similar climate as they do. So we're able to kind of grow the grapes that are kind of really prominent in those regions. To see like this region kind of, or this state pop up from like your average, like, obviously I won't even say average, but like your regions like New York, who are doing Rieslings a little bit more well known with like nationally.
Sure.
The Michigan Rieslings compete with those and see how they do, and even compared to like some regions from like Alsace or Mosel.
Tanisha, have you had Michigan wines before?
I've had a couple, yeah. And it's funny, my cousin just was talking to me today that she's going on a tour. They apparently do tours of Michigan wineries from Chicago.
Oh, wow.
So her and some friends are to do 4 wineries in Michigan. And she was like, you'd be so proud of me. I'm going on a wine tour in Michigan. So I can't wait to hear back how that goes and what she thinks of the wines.
Yeah, I think a few wine bloggers went on a press trip to Michigan I think it was like a few years ago. So yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's real cool. That's real.
And it's good to know that they're doing like regular wine. At first, it was just a lot of sweet wine and ice wine because of the temperature up there.
Sure.
But standard wine.
Exactly, and just like kind of escaping from like that, you know, the sweet wine and palate that kind of really tends towards like the masses, and really getting to like those Cab Francs, and really, you know, a little bit more wine that has a little bit more structure and body. It's really cool. It's interesting just to see the transition and like just kind of how they're playing with it, or how we're playing, I should say.
That's what's up. So George, your Instagram is like a Pinterest heaven. Like first of all, you travel all around the world. Your pictures are gorgeous, and you have a very nice sense of style.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, from the hats to the scarves and the jeans and everything fits nice. Yeah, well done. I have to commend you.
Thank you so much. I get it from my mama. Straight up. She's but yeah, I love traveling, in all honesty, and I see the world through at first, in all honesty, the only way that I could travel was really through wine and through food, you know. And I would really, like, I would have like these, I went to culinary school, so like everybody cooked, you know what I mean? And we always, you know, just got together and just did our thing, and that's the way that we would kind of just see the world. Until I took a trip. My first trip was when I turned 21, I think it was, and I actually went I did a Euro trip, and I went to Paris, went to London, then went to Amsterdam and then Brussels, and it was just, you know, it's just a really complete difference. You know what I mean? It was just different, being able to see the world from a totally different perspective, especially being like, you know, a Black person throughout the world. It was really interesting to see like people's take on I don't know, just people's take on like who I was and where I came from, like knowing like where I came from, in all honesty. So it was just interesting.
Huh. What's up? So what's next on your travel destination?
Barcelona. Barcelona.
Dope.
Is it?
Yes. The food is amazing. The wine is phenomenal.
Oh, I'm knowing.
Yeah.
what was your favorite part about going to like Barcelona?
Wine. Yeah. No, I had a sangria, a lot of meat. And oddly enough, I didn't know this before I went, but Barcelona, and then they also say Spain too, is really known for gin and tonics. And I really like
Really?
gin and tonics. So I had quite a few of those.
I didn't know that.
I did not know either. So they were pairing them up with a whole bunch of different kinds of tonic, some house made and flavored, pink peppercorn and grapefruit. And
Yes. All of that.
did a little day trip to Penedès and had some cava. You can do that in a day from Barcelona.
Yes.
That's not far at all.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Cava is sparkling wine is so slept on here in Michigan. I feel like it really is. You know, everybody always.
It seems expensive.
Yeah.
In Michigan. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, everybody always skates to like champagne, but like no one really understands. Like Michigan is just so conservative, not only like politically, but also like with everything else that follows, right?
Mm-hmm.
They only tend towards one direction, and they stick to that direction in which that is.
I'm sorry, why do you live there? I'm just
oh my God, that just made my whole entire night.
No.
Like, what are you doing?
You know, honestly, like as conservative as it is, like there are just like little pockets, like Detroit, like your Ann Arbor's, and like even like in West Michigan and Grand Rapids, it's like big fish and small pond type of concept where I'm able to do things like I'm doing, like being a young African American in like this completely Dutch white space. I can still I can still do and present something that's kind of outside of the box and outside of what they're used to. Not that there's no one else doing it, but there are just so few of us that are doing it.
Yeah.
That stands out a little bit more, and we can have a little bit bigger of a pool in what we do out here. So yeah, that's I mean, and it's gorgeous. Like Michigan, hands down, straight up and down, is just absolutely beautiful. Like the Great Lakes are the Great Lakes for a reason. Like Lake Michigan is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's freshwater, and you know, northern Michigan is absolutely amazing. If you haven't been to Michigan, you should definitely go to northern Michigan. Check out the wineries. Check out the water front. It's beautiful.
Yeah, like I've been to Detroit.
I've been in Detroit too.
I've been in Detroit.
I got family in Ohio. It's very close to Detroit. Yeah.
Detroit. Yeah. Detroit is a whole different world.
Yeah.
Like I love
it. As conservative as you are describing Michigan, what kind of wines do you serve at Graped Out?
You know, I like to teeter-totter. It depends on the time of season, and I always like to throw in a Michigan wine, just to rep. But I usually tend. It's usually all over, in honesty. Sometimes I'll be throwing like a Shannon from the bar. Sometimes I'll focus on like California and Paso, because I just love Paso so much, or Paso so much. But I really want to kind of focus on the season and really focus on like seasonality, and really highlight, like this past, I did a summer series where I focused on each pop-up that I had. I wanted to focus on a lot of unique whites, and unique whites is definitely caters to like, I don't know, just a different like Chenin Blancs and Viogniers, things that aren't necessarily unique to us, but to Michigan people, or Michiganders, I should say. It's kind of like out of the box. So yeah, that's just kind of how I focus and kind of pin on Graped Out pop-ups and tastings that I usually have.
So are you going to take Graped Out outside of Michigan, or are you going to keep it there?
You know, I eventually, with the pop-ups, I definitely want to do some. I have one. I'm trying to plan one in Chicago currently, From there, I really want Graped Out to kind of grow from the production standpoint eventually, and then kind of grow from there, then bring the pop-ups through my actual wine. But right now it's just Michigan focused and kind of trying to grow it from here on out. I have another one coming up. It's at the Grand Rapids International Food, Beer, and Wine Festival. And I'm bringing out some producers a producer, I should say, from Oregon, and focusing on it's called Shades of Blackness, and it highlights different Blacks or African Americans specifically that are doing their thing within the food realm as well as the beverage realm, and kind of bring it all in to bring the experience of just Black culture.
So, this is the part of the show where we ask you random questions. They may be rapid, they may not. It's all good. Okay, and these questions are for you too.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Okay, you ready? All right. Who is your favorite designer?
Designer? Oh my gosh. So my favorite designer, it kind of teeter-totters in all honesty. I don't want to seem like I'm like that hipster young dude that's like so and thrift shops all the time, but I usually get all of my stuff at thrift stores. So anything that looks good, anything that fits me well, I usually kind of tend towards. But I do like I'm basic in honesty. Like I usually shop at like Banana Republic. Yeah, I'm just basic in all honesty.
Okay. Tanisha, you have a favorite designer?
One favorite? No, probably not clothes. I mean, I have favorite shoe designers that I look at and I'm like, wow, those are amazing. I can't.
Oh, who are your shoe designers?
Shoes. I like Brian Atwood probably the most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are like my favorite. I follow on Instagram. I'm like, oh, and just completely coveting every photo. Yeah.
I have to be honest, I'm pretty similar to George. I've been shopping at thrift stores a lot lately.
Yeah, you can find some dope stuff. In all honesty, like you could really cop some stuff.
I always hear that, and I see people with dope stuff that they got at vintage shops. I don't have the patience for that.
Because I found some really dope stuff when I was in Paris at the thrift shops.
You did, and I'm like, wow. Like I get mad when stuff is not all on hangers, and it's like two shoved together. And I like TJ Maxx and Marshalls used to frustrate me.
Oh wow!
Because stuff would be so shoved in. I'm like, oh my god, this is just so hard. Why is all this on the floor? This place is a disaster.
Yeah. That brings me back. Yeah, my mom used to take us, like, I used to be like my day when my mom used to take us to like TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And like, I used to have like two things I can get, like, and it was like really rare that we actually went. But like the times that we went, I went and picked out that polo and I wore that thing like it was nothing. For real.
Well, that's nice. You were rich. I shopped at Burlington when I was a kid.
Yo, Burlington.
It was rough.
In Burlington, I think my mom instilled in me this whole why is everything so shoved together? Why can't we move this? Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But honestly, like recently, I've been really trying to support some of the homies that are out here, that be in like Detroit or Chicago, who are like designing and like creating like dope stuff. So I'm really trying to rock what they wear because I'm a really big advocate of like supporting local.
Yeah.
Really like supporting like the people that I like and like I love, who I'm like particularly connected with, and know that like that dollar is going to their pockets.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been really trying to be intentional about that more recently.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What is your favorite pairing?
Ooh, okay. So my favorite pairing, hands down, and I did it recently when I went to college. because I've always been a fan of them, but Harold's chicken with a mild sauce.
Listen, come through.
Straight up.
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear the pairing. I got excited over the Harold's. What are we drinking with it? Sorry.
I pair it with the Chenin Blanc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, then it has like some nice fruit, some nice acid. The tangy from the mild sauce is off. Like it comes out just a little bit, but you still had like a little bit of sweetness that it hits you. But the acid from the Chenin Blanc cuts through that fat of the chicken and the fries. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
Okay.
Well, something that has a bit more fruit.
You are officially our favorite guest now.
I'm with it.
Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic pairing.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Have you had Harold's before?
I have not had Harold's before, but I've heard. I'm serious about fried chicken. Though.
Oh man, I forgot. You from DC, so you got that mumbo sauce.
We do.
I mean, it ain't mild sauce.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that.
Not mild.
I mean, you know, I lived in DC forever, so I get it. I ate it, but it is in comparison. Hey.
Right.
All right. I'm not gonna argue with y'all.
Right. It's just you tonight, so
right. I ain't got no backup.
So.
Yes. All right. What did you say? What is your favorite pairing? I just assumed it was Popeyes and champagne.
No, that's just like the one I talk about the most because people don't believe me.
Well, speaking of Popeyes, I got a question. Did you all have the? Did you all actually? Well, I know you're in Paris.
Yes.
I don't know if you had the actual chicken sandwich. Did you?
Yes, I had it. I told you I was serious about fried chicken. Yeah, I stood in line. I stood in line and I had the sandwich. And yeah, did you have it?
I did. It was pretty dope. It was
it was good. It was good. I can't even lie. It was good. I had it with a rosé. It was good.
It was dope.
Yeah. Tanisha,
I ain't have it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
What's your favorite pairing?
I don't know about a favorite pairing. You know, I feel like whatever.
Right.
It's not like mussels or something. Don't you eat a lot of mussels there?
Yeah, but I drink beer with those. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
yeah. Honestly, like if I'm just drinking, if I'm just chilling, I don't mind cracking open. In all honesty, like a nice beer to like go with whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like versatile with it. In all honesty. Especially if I'm just chilling, in all honesty, because I find so much. And actually, like, prior to like when I was in college and undergrad, like I hated being known for as like the wine dude at culinary school.
Why?
So I mean, well, just because I don't like being put into like one. I didn't like being put into like one box because I wanted to be like I want to know it all. You know what I mean? I wanted to like be like a learner of it all. So I didn't want to just be like just wine. I want to be wine, beer, food, all of it. Especially being like a food and beverage major at like a culinary school where everyone's majoring in culinary. You already have this like little, I don't know, this thing about you. So I just always want to prove myself and just kind of like learn so much about like beer and like learn so much about wine. But yeah, it doesn't matter like as far as like pairings for me goes, because like anything can kind of go like whatever you like is what you like, as long as you kind of understand like the communal aspect of like whatever you're doing, you know. And really bringing together food and wine and being really intentional about those two things. And conversation comes from that and kind of bringing about different things that come from, you know, just bringing those things together.
Got it. So, Tanisha, you do not have an answer.
For pairings, I'm sorry, not just like one. I am starting to do like some, like really making note of pairings I enjoy when it comes to wine and cheese. Okay. Since I have access to like 2 trillion cheeses, I am now just kind of getting really into that and seeing how those taste together and what I like.
What have you found? What have you found has been your best? Like your top 3?
So I really like the stinky creamy cheeses. And I started with making it, easy, and where the cheese is from, drinking a wine from there. So Epoisse, which is in Burgundy region, and so drinking white Burgundy. So that's amazing together because that's it's really creamy, and then the wine has that nice crisp minerality to it.
Right.
What else? I am super into blue cheese. So Roquefort, Roquefort and Fourme d'Aubert. I eat those and surprise people when I serve those at the end of a cheese platter. And they're like, oh, I like blue cheese. I'm like, but taste this one.
Yeah.
Major. That one's nice with the sweeter wine. A Riesling with a little bit more sweetness to it. And some people say Sauternes, but Sauternes can still be a little too sweet for me.
Right. That's always, no, honestly, like that's always been my go-to is like if I'm eating like a Stilton, I'm like always, well, I'm gonna say always, but I usually go towards like a sweeter wine, like a Riesling, or like even like a or like a late harvest Riesling, I should say, or like a port or a Porto, like. That's like always been like my go-to, but I've been trying to like escape that and like trying to find other places I could go.
Try a new thing. Yeah. And then some of the more aged and harder cheeses, trying those with red wines or fuller bodied white wines.
Right. Yeah.
So
I do have to piggyback on your blue cheese, and because I made lamb last night, and so what I did was I slow cooked the lamb in a crock pot, and
I wanted to know how this turned out because you got us all the way to the end of the meal, and then it was just like, well, I'm not posting no more.
What you mean? I showed you what the end result. Did it not look delicious?
I mean, but was it? Like it could look like that could have just been like the good side. Like I don't know if the other side was perfect.
Oh no.
Right.
I tried to give you as much detail as I could. I even used the fork to pull the meat apart in the slow cooker so you could see how it came apart. I
might have missed that part. Okay, no.
So it was a leg of lamb, and I slow cooked it, and I slow cooked it in red wine, and it came out really, really good. And so when I was building my lunch last night, I took so a spinach on the bottom. It was cauliflower rice, corn, butternut squash, and I put blue cheese in the middle. So then I had my lamb in a separate container. So what I did was when I was ready to eat it, I just heated up the lamb and just dumped the lamb over this salad.
Oh my God.
That blue cheese. Oh my God.
Yeah. It just takes it to a different level.
It took it to a whole nother level. And then last night I opened this, it was a Costco wine, and they have a Southern Rhone.
Really?
So yeah, they got a Southern Rhone. And I was like, oh my, why is this so good? This is ridiculous. Yeah. But I swear, the lamb with the blue cheese and the Southern Rhone.
Yeah.
I also feel like the Southern Rhone can do no wrong. Like I have not had a bad wine from them ever. If it was bad, it was because it was something literally wrong with the bottle or something like that. But I've never had a wine from there I did not love.
Really?
Never.
Man, that's good.
Southern Rhone does it right.
They do it right every time.
Yep. Whether it's a blend, whether it's a white, it don't matter. It does not matter at all.
It's right.
Hands down my favorite. Well, I have a question for you all. If you all had to choose you all's favorite region, what would you say that is?
That's really hard. That's almost asking like what my favorite wine is.
No. I'm saying the region, so I'm trying to like be a little bit more.
Tanisha, are you gonna go first?
I can't. It's just my answer is weird because I have a favorite, I just don't drink it often because the price point doesn't allow it as much as I'd like it.
That's literally the story of my life.
So, like, my favorite region of all time would be Burgundy. Because for them to just have 2 grapes, there is a ridiculous amount of diversity from top to bottom in how those 2 grapes taste.
Right.
You have your oaky Chardonnay, you have your non-oak but still medium-bodied Chardonnay, you have your super light and crisp and minerally Chardonnay, you have your heavy Pinot, you have your light, grapey, fruity Pinot. I mean, it's so much that you can get from there. So yeah, I'd have to say that is like my favorite. But when it comes to Burgundy, you're not getting, they don't have a value range like literally every other region. So if you want Burgundy, you are spending a decent amount on it to get one that is quality, whereas other regions will have a lower end one. If you talk about what I drink the most, that's actually probably Languedoc-Roussillon. I drink the most amount of wine from there because I can get a good bottle for like 7 or 8. If I'm balling, I'll spend 15.
Right.
For me, everybody knows that I drink cava every day, all day, and I love sparkling wine.
Yeah.
This region that I recently discovered, I had heard of it, but I hadn't really gotten to know the wines. But let me know if I'm saying this correctly. So it's Trentino in Italy, but Trentodoc. Am I saying that right?
It sounds to me.
Anyway, it's Italian, and it's it's a part of Italy that's all mountains, and they produce nothing but sparkling wine. And man, there are sparkling wines, and they make them in champagne style. They're traditional method.
Oh, word,
so,
nice.
Yeah. It's my latest. Is it the latest post? It's 2 posts ago in Instagram.
It's not surprising that your favorite would be sparkling. Like that's not surprising at all.
So I think anyway, I'm not gonna go in my rant about sparkling wines and like pairings and stuff. But anyway, yes, Cava first and Trentodoc. I hope I'm saying that right. I have to look it up anyway. That's my second favorite.
That's dope. That's interesting.
All right, next question. Describe your typical Sunday.
My typical Sunday is usually filled in 2 parts. One part is with a bunch of friends. Well, not a bunch of friends, probably like 3 or 4. After church, we go to brunch, and then from there, I just kind of get my day together and really kind of try to figure out like what I'm doing that next week and like understanding like what's going down in all honesty. But before that, we brunch and we get right.
I like that. So no football?
No, I'm not really a sports dude, no, honestly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like I'll watch if somebody has it on.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm not gonna flex and be like, yo, yeah, I got like mad fantasy football leads and like, yeah, nah, I'm not that dude.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Tanisha, what about you? What's your typical Sunday?
Oh, nothing is typical about Sunday or the weekend. It could literally be anything. It could be I'm going on free museum day, to I'm having brunch, to I never leave my apartment.
Right.
Afternoon wine tasting. It could be anything.
Okay.
Yesterday, did I leave? Yes, I did. Yesterday I had French class, brunch with friends, and then it started raining, and I was like, well, I'm going home. That was Sunday. So it could be anything.
Yeah, my typical Sunday, it varies also, but most of the time I use that day to just sort of gather myself and get ready for the next week. But one thing that I always do on Sundays is I check for open houses, regardless of the price. So I might be in the neighborhood with, first of all, $1 million houses in DC. A lot of times they have cookies and champagne. So that is a whole thing. That's so.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they use cookies, like they bake cookies in the, well, I don't know if they still do, it doesn't happen a whole lot, but they'll bake cookies to entice you, you know, make you feel it.
Right. Feel you at home.
Yeah, exactly. And then with sparkling wine, it's just like an added bonus. Like, oh my God, I'm never leaving. So,
right. Oh my, yeah. That's like an added bonus. Like I need to see that, in all honesty. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's something I typically do on Saturdays. I mean Sundays. Sorry. Yeah.
That is dope. That's dope. I need to start doing that. Like seriously, I'm gonna take a girl and we're just gonna go. Just go to open houses.
Yeah.
Wait, I love that.
That's actually a cute little date. Yeah.
Seriously though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're welcome. Right. Okay, this is our last question. All right. So it's 60 degrees on a Saturday night. You're in front of a fire pit with a group of friends. What are you drinking and what song is playing?
Good question. So I'm a really big fan of Chance the Rapper, that is.
Sure.
So he's definitely in the background. And I'm probably drinking a number of things, in all honesty, especially if it's a Saturday, because I don't have to work the next day. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably either drinking one of my favorites, probably a Beaujolais.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just because it's mad affordable, but it's super approachable. You could drink it all day. You could drink it chill. You could drink it whatever. I'll probably be drinking maybe I'll throw old fashioned in there because I love whiskey.
Yeah.
And I'll probably that'd probably be those two, in all honesty.
Okay.
But I'm really a big fan of Beaujolais.
Nice.
For sure.
Impressive.
People sleep on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! People sleep on it so much, in all honesty.
Because they think of it as just nouveau.
Yeah.
They think it's just nouveau, and so they're like, I ain't messing with it.
No. Beaujolais can be so many different things, in all honesty. Like especially get a really good one, that like a village, and that has a little bit more structure and that can age for a longer period of time, and that's meant to age for a little bit longer. It can be absolutely amazing. The fruit that comes from it, the cherry note. I mean, it's just crazy, in all honesty. And then just kind of like being in front of a fire, drinking a Beaujolais, and just kind of like just chilling with friends. Something that you can just kind of like throw back and just kind of be playful with a little bit, you know. Yeah. Just chill, you know.
Yeah. Tanisha, you gotta answer. Oh wait, did you say your song? You said Chance the Rapper.
I said Chance. I'm just.
Okay, gotcha. You got.
What's the question again?
Girl, you in front of a fire pit with your homegirls. What are you drinking and what song is playing?
Okay, and it's funny. This is what in that interview I just did. They asked like, what is my like ideal way to drink wine? And I was like, oh, in front of a fireplace and like some jazz or some R&B playing and a glass. So I'd say jazz or R&B, a song specifically. I mean, I know you're expecting me to say Rick Ross, but I don't think so maybe like some old, like legit old art, like some Jodeci or some H-Town or some Silk, some Blackstreet.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've completely dated myself, but whatever.
Are you all into neo soul?
Oh,
sure. Yeah. Well, I am.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard that word in a very long time, so.
I haven't.
Yeah. I didn't know people still used it.
Right. I haven't heard that since like Jill Scott's second album. Like that was.
Yo, pump Jill Scott all day.
Yeah.
Like
because my song, well, first of all, my wine is going to be. This is probably the only time I will say this wine. a California Zen. California Zen, maybe a cigar.
Yeah.
And my song would be probably On and On, Erykah Badu.
Ooh.
So
I feel that actually in my soul right now.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Right. Everybody about to go play that. I mean, except
right.
I'm gonna go play that later.
Man.
Oh man. So
yo,
this is awesome.
Yeah, Erykah, that's a cool vibe.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with me and Alan. We were driving to Richmond on Friday. We were having a conversation because, like, I don't know how old you are, George, but back in the day, we remember like going to record stores and like buying a CD when it came out and standing in lines and unwrapping it and reading the inside.
And reading the inside.
I don't want to date myself, but my first CD that I ever bought was actually Usher Confessions, and I'm not gonna hold you. That was like probably the best thing that ever happened to my life. Like,
wait, that was the first CD that you bought was Usher Confessions?
He said first CD. Gee, I remember the first record I bought, okay?
Like I said, I wanna
yeah. You don't want to date yourself. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to date myself, but I remember buying that.
Yo. But still, like that whole album was just crazy. Like it was fire.
That was a good album. I had to admit it was.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah. I was in college when that came out. But my whole point was like kids don't know that feeling. You know, everything is so fast and so immediate.
Right.
They can download it and just like that, there's no challenge in getting anything.
Right. It's interesting. It's really interesting to see like the way the world is going right now.
Sure.
I was listening to NPR this morning on the way to work, and I heard Forever 21 is going out of business.
Yeah,
they're going bankrupt. They declared bankruptcy.
Well, I shouldn't say going out of business, but bankruptcy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But even like it's just really interesting to see like how all the retail stores and places that you actually want to go and like actually buy something in person, it's kind of being just kind of doing away with, in all honesty. Like you look at places like Circuit City, or even like
and y'all been let bookstores go.
Well, so they're actually coming back. They're slowly coming back to I don't know how every other area is, but especially Black bookstores, they're starting to pop up. So people are starting to get nostalgia about holding books, sipping coffee while they're flipping through pages and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully they don't go away again, because I actually like bookstores.
The Busboys and Poets actually in DC is mad. And they're like doing really cool stuff and like merging those.
They just announced that there's a new Busboys. I don't know if Columbia, Maryland, and it's going to be like 3 levels high.
What?
So, they're expanding like crazy.
That's crazy. That's dope. But I mean, but even to your point, it's really interesting to see like the transition from like of actually like going to a store and like getting everything online, like whether it be like music or whether it be like a book or whether it be even like wine even, and how like it will affect our industry in the future, and how a lot of people are like kind of ordering like direct from the winery, and how I don't know how like the laws are in DC, or because they might be a little bit more lenient, but like in Michigan it's like mad strict. Like you have to like you have to like go through like that 3-tier system.
Okay.
Anything that you cop. So it's just really interesting. And they're kind of leaning away from that right now. But it'd be really interesting to see how like the industry like plays to that like in the future.
That's a whole nother episode.
All right, see you next week.
But George, thank you so much for being on the show. This was so fun.
Yo, thank you all. Like, this has been absolutely amazing. I'm so like I'm I'm like a kid in the candy shop right now, kind of like geeking out. And this is so dope.
Before you go, tell everybody where they can follow you and Graped Out.
Yeah, so you can follow Graped Out at Graped Out. That's Graped Out on Instagram, Facebook, or you can follow me personally at GeorgeWalks3 on Instagram. So yeah, that's me. Again, thank you so much too for having me on.
Thank you for taking the time for us. We really appreciate it.
Yo, this is dope.
Have a good night. Have a good week.
You too. Thank you. You as well.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining the Swirl Suite, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Please follow us on social media at Swirl Suite. And you can follow me at Vine Me Up. Follow Girl Meets Glass, Vino Noir, and Vino 301. There will be no show next week, so we'll see you soon. Cheers.